Hear that? That's what I'm talking about, so that's what we're gonna be fixing. All right, as you can see behind me, how quiet this truck is. Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, this is gonna be a quick video, tips and tricks on showing you how to fix that belt squeak, and a little bit more in detail than my last video. If you haven't seen that last video, it's got over 21,000 views on it, on this exact fix that I'm about to show you. And it's using this product, which is CRC technician grade dielectric grease. So I'm going to show you how to use it. It's very important not to put too much, so keep that in mind. Less is more. Let's get right started into this video. All right, so this is the exact squeak that I'm talking about. As soon as you started it up, you really couldn't hear it, but as it ran just slightly, it got more pronounced. There's several things that is best to check. Basically, you want to check the condition of your belt. You want to look at the rib side, make sure there isn't any cracking or fraying or any chunks missing out of your belt. You'd have to replace it immediately if you see any of those flaws. The other thing is, a good idea is to detension the belt and spin all your pulleys and make sure everything is free. The only pulley that will not spin freely is your crankshaft pulley, and that's connected to the crankshaft of the engine. Also, the AC compressor, which is down here, it should spin freely as well. If it's locked up, that could be a good indication of why your belt is squealing, especially if your AC, if it engages and the clutch sticks on, or you have an internal failure in that component down there. So on this particular vehicle, it's a 5.3 liter and it has a secondary belt down there at the bottom, and it does have some cracks in this belt at the bottom, but as far as I can see, none of them's all the way through. Some slight cracking is normal with age, but what you want to look for is if you have a crack basically all the way through and really deep in the grooves, especially if you can see some defects on the backside, which would be the smooth side of the belt, I would replace that immediately. So the other thing is, when you're applying this particular dielectric grease technician grade, this is CRC. There's a couple of different brands and you can get it in different tubes and sizes. I just get this big thing because I use it on several different things. You can use it on bulbs, spark plugs. It conditions rubber, and that's one of the main reasons that I use this. A couple of the comments that I've had is, can you use other types of grease? I would not recommend other types of grease. Some of the other greases are petroleum based, which petroleum can damage rubber products. This is a silicone based, which this would be the same as like putting lotion on your hands. It basically conditions rubber, so it lubricates, seals, protects. This is actually made for use for O-rings, to condition them and keep them soft and flexible. So the application process of this, so I would recommend using at least amount as possible. For this squeak, which is pretty substantial, I usually squirt about an inch or less on one of my fingers, and I use a glove just because it's hard to get off your hands. So if you want to put it on the rib side, and as you can see down there, I usually rub it into the grooves right there, just so it's not going to sling off whenever I start the vehicle. So there's one, and I normally try to pick another spot which is on the opposite side of the belt. And remember, less is more in this area, because you can always add more of this. So I usually put about that much on the opposite side of the belt. And then, since this does have a smaller belt down at the bottom that runs the AC, so I'll just put a little bit right there, and I'll only use one time on that bottom belt, and you can always add more if you need more, if you still have just a slight squeak. But in my experience, I've been doing this for 10 plus years, and even used it on my personal vehicles, and this almost always takes care of the squeal or squeak, except if you have a component issue. But after adding this product, so I have not started the vehicle yet, I'm about to start it up. But keep in mind, if you do use this fix, just use the minimal amount as possible, and that will keep your belt perfectly conditioned, because you don't want to overly use this. If you put too much or a big glob and you don't rub it in like I did, as soon as you start the vehicle, it'll just sling off the belt. Here goes the initial start after applying the product. As you can see, the squeak is completely gone with applying this product right here, and it's instant. Put down a link. I just added a Patreon account, so if you'd like to help me support my YouTube channel, check that link out. Also, appreciate every single one of you guys commenting. I try to comment back on every single comment I get. Thank you guys for supporting my channel. It means a lot to me. Thanks for watching.